will be a guest lecture from Mr. Michael here. I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name, but Michael here has been inside the community for quite some time. How long has it been? It's been a little bit over a year, right?
A little bit over a year, yeah, pretty much.
Awesome. And yeah, Michael is absolutely crushing it. I remember when Michael would jump on, he would jump on the Q&A sessions and he would rapid fire a bunch of stuff. I think one of the first times, or at least the time that really stood out to me, is you jumped on once and you were like, "Yeah, dude, I just signed on like 12 new clients, and like I have this new issue. I'm doing like 1,000 cold calls a day, and it's working really well, but like it's breaking everything. Um, yeah, can you help me with this thing?" And then he would just jump on and then jump off. So I'm really excited that probably long overdue, honestly, me having you on here. And then Michael visited Colombia. I got to know him a little bit better and his business and what he's building and everything. And it's been a lot of fun watching you grow, man, because you joined and you didn't really have anything, and now Michael's traveling the world. He's doing things. He was in Colombia. He has plans to go to other countries. He was in Hawaii for a while. He visited Kai, so he's pretty deep inside the community. He's made friendships, made business partnerships, and I've introduced him to my network and everything. So he is absolutely crushing. Guys, so I see some hands raised. This is not going to be a Q&A session. So Mike is going to do a guest lecture, and then at the end, if we have time, we'll tackle some Q&As. So if you have a question, don't raise your hand, just put it in the chat, and then we'll cover them towards the end. If we need more context, etc., then maybe Michael will ask you to unmute yourself and provide you with more details. And then also, if some of you are wondering what I am wearing, because Michael was wondering this, I just came back from Japan. So this is actually my new attire. So this is what I'm going to wear from now on. I'm a kimono kind of guy now, I've decided, after being in Japan. So I'm tired of normal clothes. It's only kimonos from now on. So with that being said, we're about 1 minute into the call, the official start time. Michael, if you want to just go ahead and start by introducing yourself, and then we can dive into what you have prepared, good sir.
Let's do it. Let's do it. So, for those of you who don't know me, which is probably most of you in all honesty, my name is Mike. I basically joined the community about a year ago myself, basically having nothing. Started out actually joining Imam Ghazi's course on 997, the ultimate classic. That didn't really work out. So that brought me here basically. And for you guys who have basically gone to Kai's call as well, he's a really good friend of mine. We actually live together most of the time. I basically saw some of his results where he was signing people. I thought he signed like 10 people in like 4 or 5 weeks or something like that. So like, there's no fucking way this guy can do it and I can't. And then I went literally switched everything to the SaaS model and got like I think it was like 17 clients in 10 days. It was actually posted in community from me, basically backtracking that. So if you want to verify it or whatever, you can basically do that. And now I'm at about like 16K a month. Just doing low ticket SaaS, traveling the world, having a good time, meeting up with Pavel in Colombia, and yeah, just living the life. So
Wait, you said you're at 50, 60K a month now?
15, 16. I
Oh,
wish,
wait, 15.
we're getting there. We're getting there. Okay, well, give me a minute.
Dude, I was gonna say, last time I spoke to you, like how in the world did you like 4x your business in the past couple of weeks since we last talked? That'd be
Never,
insane. Yeah,
never.
Michael's been it's which is kind of crazy because Michael met Kai inside of our community, and he like cold DM'd him, and then they became really good friends, and then they literally just lived together. Like I had no idea about this. And then I talked to both of them, and then they were roommates, and they were just building their agencies together. And then they came to Colombia together, and all this. So really cool the friendships that you can make if you start to network and reach out to other people. And now they're obviously both crushing. So let's do it, man. Take it
100%.
away, Michael.
All right. So what I basically gone ahead and prepared for everyone is the way that I started my agency and got a bunch of clients really, really quickly. So I'm not going to go into cold calling because there's like a million things about that online already. I think cold SMS combined with cold calling is probably one of the best things you could possibly do if A, you barely have any money, so you can't run ads, and you have a lot of time, right? Or at least like a sufficient amount of time to at least put in some work. So I'm literally just going to go through my entire SOP. I'm going to show you everything that I actually did. I'm going to show you like basically everything that you could possibly need to actually run this yourself. And at the end of this, if you stick around, it'll also give you my exact snapshot where I have everything in there. So you can literally just copy paste it into your own Go Level account and use it. So let's start out. Let me see if I can share my screen here. Hold on. So the first thing I want to show you guys, I'm sure you're probably already familiar with this tool, is Outscraper, right? So I'm not going to go too deep into, actually, let me maybe show you the Cole SMS account first, actually, so you can kind of see what that looks like. So you see it actually works. So the Cole SMS is pretty straightforward, right? For those of you who are not familiar with it, what you're going to do, you're going to get a bunch of phone numbers for contractors or whoever it is that, you know, you might basically be targeting. And what you're going to do after that is basically send a direct text message to all of them. Okay, to all of them to basically make sure that you can get some type of responses, and then you call those people up. That way, what's happening is you're not actually just cold calling people, getting rejected, but you're only calling the people that are like, oh yeah, you know, sure, that sounds kind of cool actually. Like, let me go ahead and listen to what you have to say. So this way, combined with cold calling, I was booking about 30 appointments a day. Like, I'm not even joking, about 30 appointments a day, doing it full time though. So I was like a fucking lunatic on the phone, calling people like 10 hours a day. So take that, take that with a grain of salt, maybe. But that kind of puts it into perspective. And now I basically have a setter doing the exact same thing. So you can see right here, people just come in here whenever they replied. The one that are interested and don't pick up, we put them into here, into an interested pipeline, but positive reply. And then my setter just keeps on calling them until they eventually pick up or tell us to fuck off, right? And then he just tries to book them into the appointment set, where that, you know, these basically go into actual appointments, and then we just keep following up with them, right? And, excuse me, one thing we do as well is we actually try to filter out as many of the negative replies that we possibly can, so that the people that come in here into replied are already positive replies, right? So that you're not going to be wasting reading people's replies or whatever. It's like, oh, you know, go fuck yourself or whatever, because you don't want to read that. It's just a waste of your time and mentality. So we just automatically try to basically put them in here. Now, let me go ahead and actually show you how you can get a lead list, because this is probably by far the most important thing and is actually going to determine how successful you are and how many people you're going to have to call to get appointments. Because if you call the bottom of the bottom of the bottom of the people that have like $20 in your bank account, well, fuck, you're going to be calling a lot of them until you sign a client. So let me show you how you can actually do this so that you can get the right type of people and so that you can filter your list correctly so you don't just waste your time calling useless and broke people. So Outscraper, just make an account. I think Pavel has a video on it as well. It's super straightforward. There's a couple of services in here that you can use. So there's a bunch of stuff in here. The one that we're actually going to use is the Google Maps data scraper. So I'm not going to actually scrape something right now because it takes like an hour to complete, but I'm just going to show you how it works. So let's say, for example, that you're targeting landscapers, right? And it's always best, by the way, to target one specific niche for this, even if, like me, for example, I can work with any type of contractor. Just because that way your text message is going to be way more targeted and people are actually going to respond to it more. But let's say we want to go ahead and target landscapers, right? So landscape designers or landscapers, same thing. What we're going to do is we're going to turn this on, exact match. So ignore other categories so you're not getting dentists and stuff like that. Because believe me, if you don't do this, you will literally get dentists in your lead list, which obviously you don't want, right? Then the next thing we're going to do is basically take 1, 2, or 3 states. The reason that we do this is because this way we can send our text message from a phone number that is in that state, which makes it so that they are more likely to actually reply to your text message, right? So for example, I'll just remove all of these, take like, I don't know, like California or Florida or whatever. Depending on the niche that you do, just take the people that have the most money, and that usually works the best, obviously, right? And then from there, basically you just click on get data, and then you're going to get a list that looks something like this. I know this is a little bit technical, so bear with me here, people. But what we're going to do here, this is basically the list that you get. This is one I actually use for pool remodelers. We're going to get name, site, category, phone number, so a bunch of address stuff. And then this is really, really important, rating and reviews, the business status, so are they operational, and is their Google profile verified? For my Go High Level SaaS, we actually try to leverage people's Google My Business profiles as well, because this is something that can actually get them results without you doing anything, right? If people get results, they're going to stick with you way longer. So if you're getting people that are already verified, right? You just filter it on this, only talk to these people, their business is operational, and for example, you get people that have a minimum of 5 reviews, which is what I would highly recommend, and a minimum rating of 3.3 and up. That way, now you're getting a way, way better type of client that A, is more likely to respond to your text messages, B, is more likely to be interested in their services because they already have some reviews, for example, and they actually understand the value of it, and C, is actually going to get more results from your stuff because they're not just starting from scratch. So you're going to have an easier time setting things up for them, and they're going to have more money and probably stick with you longer. And trust me, I battle tested this, and these people are way better than the ones that are like, they don't have a website, they don't have a Google My Business. Like, it's just less work and more money, basically. So obviously, that's kind of what we all want, right? And if they have a website, by the way, for all you guys selling websites out there as well, which includes me, doesn't matter. About 95% of contractors' websites is fucking dog shit, right? Like, it's absolutely terrible. Like, it barely works. They don't even know where their contact form goes. It doesn't convert for shit. So it really doesn't matter. Like, don't worry about that. So filter the list like that, then you're going to have a lot less people than, is this, like 10,000? You'll probably have like 5 or 6,000 at this point. So cut out like half the people. Then out of those people, we want to make sure that we're reaching people that have a mobile number. Because if you're going to be calling or texting landlines, I can guarantee you are either A, going to not be able to reach them, or B, get a gatekeeper. So you don't want to waste your time. So what we use, and this is out of Pavel's playbook as well, basically, is Clear Out Phone. So Clear Out Phone, what this basically does is you put the list after you filtered it, and you're going to go ahead and literally just throw it in here, right? So my lists, this is going to give you, let me literally just show you what it gives you. So this is going to give you a list which has the phone numbers filtered in it. So this is literally the pool one I just showed you, by the way, so you can actually take a look at it. So if you guys can see this, if I scroll to the right, it's all the same data, blah, 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 blah. Here we go. Clear out phone line type. Is it a mobile, fixed line, VoIP, or landline? We want to only talk to mobile people. These are the phone numbers that you can text. So this is super important, obviously, for call SMS, because if you can't text them, you can't reach them, right? And these are also the people that are going to be actual decision makers. When I used to cold call, because what I did, I ran call SMS and I was cold calling simultaneously, basically, just trying to reach as many people as possible. 99% of times, you will have a decision maker on the phone, and about 1 out of 2 people will actually connect with you on the phone. I swear to God, right? So this is super, super important for when you're doing this stuff, because you're just going to be able to talk to way more people, and you're not going to be told to, go play in traffic as much. So that's also very cool, right? So that is basically how you get the list. I don't think I really do any other verification besides that. And then we basically just go ahead.
Let me just butt in here. So this SOP, because we're diving super technical here. So just to clarify, this opportunities tab, this is just for SMS, right? So this isn't for cold calling.
Yeah.
This is you doing SMS outreach.
Exactly. So this is literally for cold SMS outreach. It's the same for cold calling, in all honesty. Like, you can use that list for cold calling and for cold SMS, because even if they don't respond to an SMS, or they tell you to go screw yourself over SMS, like, it does not mean that if you call them that it's going to have the same response. Like, I promise you. So oftentimes, like, what I do is I'll literally just like have people coming in here, because this is not just going to fill up thousands of people, right? They're like, oh my God, please take my money. Like, no, sadly, it doesn't work like that. So people basically come in here. I try to call them as fast as possible. And then I'm simultaneously also just calling people from Kixie, which I can, show you guys later. Literally just cold calling, right? So sometimes I'll call the same people. It doesn't really matter that much. But that way you're basically making the best bang for your buck, because you want to use that list as much as you can, because you're spending money on it. So does that kind of answer?
Right. So you take that list you downloaded from Outscraper, you put it into this tool, which is Clear Out Phone. You import it into your contacts here. So do you make a separate sub account for, let's say, that city? Let's say it's Phoenix or Kentucky, and then you have the landscapers, or for in this example, pool services. So would you take this, import it into like a pool services in Florida or in Nevada sub account, and then that's only dedicated for that? Or how do you structure that?
Yeah, that's a great question, actually. So what I do when I import contacts into Go High Level is I create a smart list. So you can kind of see how I've done it. You be like, hold on, let's see. Like, there you go. Landscapers, California, Nevada, and time zone, right? Swimming pool contractors, 5+ reviews, 3.3+ rating, verified and mobile, right? So that way I kind of know what the list actually means. And what I'll usually do is I'll go through them one by one. So I'm going to go through my entire list until it's exhausted, like it's basically done, right? Which is literally this list, like it's at its end. And then I'm just going to get a new list, or depending on, if you have the funds for it, which realistically after this, you'll probably sign like a few people, so you should. But if you don't, I'll take the exact same list and I'll just run it again with a different phone number and a different message to basically test it again. But yeah, I use a separate sub account which I use just for call SMS outreach. So you can see I have my main account right here, and I have SMS outreach accounts. Now this is super important, guys, because the reason I do this is because number one, you don't want like thousands of messages in like the same account that you manage all your clients. And because B, it is possible because you were technically, kind of not really doing what you're supposed to do technically for like the phone companies, that they suspend your Twilio. So what do I mean by that? It sounds real scary. Yeah, it sounds real scary, but it's not at all. It basically just means that they disable your texting for like a day or so, and then it's online again. But if they keep doing that, then I just create another account, like right here, and I run it from that. But if you have that on your main account, then you obviously won't want that.
Got it. And then also, Michael, if you make me co-host, I'll be able to mute any background noise that I see from anyone else that may have just joined and accidentally unmuted themselves. Since right now I do not have that as a feature. But okay, interesting. So you have a couple different SMS outreach accounts, and you're not necessarily separating them by state or by niche because you're using the smart lists. Now, after you import the contact list, what do you do from there? Do you add a tag, which then adds them into a workflow?
Yeah,
And if so, what does that process look like? And what is that first text message that gets sent out? And then what's your process to follow up with them and to actually categorize them into interested or to categorize them into not interested or even appointment set?
So what I basically do after I've imported the smart list is I can literally just go to it right here, one of them. I'm going to select all of these people, and I'm going to go ahead and click on Add to Automation. Then you're going to have a workflow here, which is, this right here is from my template, SMS outreach, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to do add all at once, and then just type something like test, right? And click on Add to Automation. Obviously, I'm not going to do it right now because I don't want to do that. But that's basically how it works, and that's how I add people. Now, what actually...
So you would send 6,000 text messages all at once?
No, let me show you. So let me show you the actual automation here, basically. So the way that this works is it has drip mode activated. Now, for those of you who have no idea what that means, it basically means that you can add millions of people to the actual workflow, to the automation, but it's not just going to hit all of them at once. It's only going to send 30 text messages per hour. Like it's only going to let 30 people through this workflow an hour, basically. That way you're not getting overwhelmed and, you're not like basically leaving some alarms in like the phone company. Like, what the hell's going on? This guy's sending like a million text messages, right? So that's basically the way that we do it. And then you can always pause it if you want to. Like if you literally just do this and save it, no more text messages get sent out. It's paused. So if you're getting overwhelmed, you just do that. Now, the first text message, let's see, what is this? Cool. So this is basically for pool construction, right? So if you're doing SaaS, because right now I have like a small lead gen offer as well, you can do something like this if you wanted to. Get an angle of like, we'll get you more business with like the Google My Business and stuff like that, for example. Or you can do something along the lines of like, hey, it's Michael here. I know this is kind of random, but I noticed you guys didn't have a website or anything like that. So I've actually went ahead and built you one. I just wanted to ask you if you wanted to see it. Something like that, for example, right? Just something to generate interest, because all we want from this text message is a yes or a no. Some kind of answer to show people that they're interested or they're not interested, right? So that's kind of the text message you're going for. So as I said, this one's like more for like lead gen-ish type of things. So we have like a direct result. Then we wait like 54 minutes, right? If they respond, they just get moved into the replied workflow. If they don't respond, what's basically going to happen is a follow-up text gets sent. So I'm just sending something like this. Like, by the way, one of my clients just closed on like 4 pool builds in his first month working with us, right? You can make this whatever you want, technically. Just keep it like super, super caveman. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just keep it like at like the simplest type of verbiage you could use. Make it like as like quickly written as possible. Put spelling mistakes in it. Like, don't think of sending some fancy stuff. Fancy goes in the trash can. This it works. So make sure to remember that. And then the second follow up. So if they don't respond to this, I'm gonna be like, hey, don't want to be a hassle, but if an extra 3 to 5 pool builds in 4 weeks sounds good, let me know. If not, all good, right? If they don't respond to that, I just leave them alone basically. And all this stuff is like some tracking, but you don't have to worry about that. And that way, basically, to go back to the opportunities, it's gonna automatically filter everything for you, or almost automatic, so that whoever actually replies comes in here. If it's a negative reply, so to say no, not interested, fuck off, get lost, whatever it might be, there's a ton of things to filter on. They get automatically moved in here. You don't want to waste your time clicking this button, reading the conversation, and then having to go back just because they told you to, go play in traffic or whatever, right? So that way, if you're getting people in replied, the likelihood of them being positive or at least not negative is really high. Because even someone who's going to ask you, and this happens a lot, who is this? Call them. Call them. Like, I'll call them. I'd be like, hey man, yeah, this is Michael. I was literally just texting you. I was telling you like we could help you get like 3 to 5 more pool builds, and he said, who is this? I figured I'd just give you a call and introduce myself. So yeah, just like that, and there you go. You'll book appointments off for that. And then the people that are interested, so I see they have like a text message like, oh my god, it's so awesome, let's do it, whatever, right? I just move them here, because they didn't pick up the phone, and then you can basically just keep calling these people day after day, and they'll pick up. So
So you're manually going through the people that are under replied and you're moving them into positive reply, or is that automatic as well?
this is not automatic. So the
Okay.
people that come into replied, and the people that come into replied, I look at the message. Whatever the message is, if it's not negative, I call them up. If they do not pick up the phone, but the message was not negative, I will move them to interested, positive reply. So that way I know, okay, I should call this guy again because he didn't leave me a negative reply. If it's a negative reply, I'll move him to not interested.
Okay. And then run me through. So what do you say when you call someone? Let's say they respond. I'm guessing the majority of the responses are who is this? They're
You'd be
not all yes.
surprised.
Yeah.
Let's let's look. These are interested though, so let's see. Okay,
Wow.
there we go.
Some live outreach.
Yeah, we do fiberglass pool build. Yeah, so this was literally today. So like we do this.
Nice.
But people could basically say anything. Like what you'll get the most is like, yes, call me, who is this? And then like stuff like this, basically like other stuff, right?
Okay.
The
And so
way
what do you say on the phone?
that it works, I'm gonna open the same way always, right? I'm gonna be like I'll give them a call, they pick up, they're like, who's this or whatever. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? It's Michael here. We were literally just texting. I'm the guy that said X, like that was talking to you about getting an extra 3 to 5 pool builds in the next 4 weeks. I don't know if that rings a bell. You're gonna say yeah, right? And then I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, man, yeah. Like you responded saying, like we do fiberglass pool builds, so yeah, I figured I'd just give you a call. And then I basically just go into my pitch explaining stuff because they usually have a couple of questions, right? Like that's kind of the structure it goes. I actually have a video as well, literally showing like I think like 5 calls of me doing this exact thing. So maybe take a look at that.
Run me through that pitch if you don't mind. I'd love to hear like what you actually say because most of the cold calling that we've heard is selling something higher ticket. I think you have a unique model to where it's all go high level SaaS. So like how do you tie this? Hey, we'll get you an extra 3 to 5 pool builds in 4 weeks. How does that tie into SaaS and into go high level? How do you pitch that?
Exactly. So this offer right here, full transparency, is also LSA. So it's like local service ads. So like a little bit of lead gen with the SaaS on the side. And I was doing SaaS.
Wow.
Yeah, when I was doing like full SaaS, it's still SaaS, but like a little bit differently. I would hit like a slightly different message, but my pitch is more so like this, right? So I'll open with that. They'll be like, yeah, okay, like how does it work? I'll be like, yeah, it's honestly pretty straightforward, man. Like the way that we work is we basically just optimize your business. So number one, we make sure that you show up on Google so that people can find you, make sure that you have a legit website and systems to follow up. And then when all of that stuff is in order, you can basically run ads and you'll make even more money. So it's like a pretty straightforward pitch, in all honesty. It kind of depends how you run it, like on the offer that you have. One thing that works really, really well, if you guys want this, is we've already built you a website. Do you want to see it? Like that was a magical text message that I sent out. And it's super easy to get people on meetings because the way that I basically booked them back then is like, I'd call them up and be like, yeah, man, you told me you wanted to see the website. I figured I'd just give you a call, kind of see where I could send it, right? And it'll be like, oh, okay, I can send it here. I'll be like, yeah, actually, so one small issue, dude. So I can't really send it to you. Reason being that, obviously it's online. Like I don't want to spend money right now if you don't even know if you want it yet. But I'll tell you what we can go ahead and do is we can literally just book a quick Zoom call. It'll be like 10, 15 minutes, super, super quick, I promise. And then I can literally just go ahead and share my screen, show you what we've built, and then we can kind of take it from there. Is that fair enough? Yes. Okay, cool. Boom, 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 boom. Schedule the meeting, and that's basically it. So that worked really, really well as well.
Okay, nice. And then so you would tie that website into SaaS, and you would show them the website, and you would say, "Hey, by the way, this is a website where we can help you follow up with your leads, and we can help you capture the leads." Or how do you tie high level into that website?
So if you want me to literally show how I do kind of a sales call, I can like quickly do it, right? Because it's super, super straightforward. And I think this will help a lot of people out. So me
Let's
on
do
a
it.
sales call, no, like for the SaaS, one thing I always do, I'll look up their business name. I'll take a look at their website and Google My Business. So let's say, let's do New York plumber, right? This is the Google My Business here. So I'll put Google My Business up. Let's pretend it's this one right here. I'll pull their website up. Well, I'm on the meeting. I'll be like, hey, yeah, what's up, man? Blah, 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 whatever, right? And then we get into this shit, basically. So I'm always going to ask them, like, okay, this is Google My Business. Are you guys getting any business from this right now? So more than likely, they're going to be like, not really, or yeah, like a little bit, but like we know it can be more, right? So this is their Google My Business. Then what I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to look up, like, let's say this was a plumber in New York. Obviously, he wouldn't be here, right? I'm just gonna go scrolling down. I'm gonna be like, oh, let's just see if we can find you really quick, right? Scrolling down. They're like, oh fuck, like where am I, right? So it kind of makes them feel bad in a way. They'll be like, oh, yeah, okay, it's all right, man, whatever. Then I'll go to their website. So I'll ask them, okay, are you guys getting any business at all from your website? Okay, well they're not getting any business from their website. Okay, cool. And then I'll go to their contact form. I'll ask them, okay, so do you know where this goes? Like, does it go to your email or like where does it go? They're like, I don't really know. Okay, cool. And then I basically go into what we actually do to show them how we can basically fix all of the pain that I've just created for them. No one's finding them on Google. All the guys at the top getting bombarded with calls, but not them because they don't have any reviews. Like you got 5 reviews, you only have 5 happy customers, right? Okay, this is how we can get you more reviews. Okay, your website isn't getting any business. Okay, well, it's because the form basically is too difficult to fill out and no one's going to it. We can help with that. Are you asking your past customers for like repeat business? No? Okay, well, we have a system for that. Like this is basically how I go into it. Like I create pain and then I basically bring in the solution at the end. So that's kind of how I tie it all together, if that makes sense.
Nice. And so what are you charging for this?
So we charge $97 a month, no contracts, no nothing. So we keep it super, super straightforward for people, and they love that. That makes it so you can just close like on the first call always. So
Nice. And so the 297 is for the website plus all the SaaS.
yeah, 297 is basically the website and the SaaS, so like everything. But you don't even really give them the go high level SaaS. You just give them like the texting functionality, and that's basically it. All the other stuff just like goes in the background, if that makes sense.
I see. So, well, like basic automations, I assume when they fill out a website form, it automatically texts that person and so forth, right?
Exactly. So if I can literally just maybe show you a client really quickly, like for example, please don't contact my clients, guys. But basically, this guy right here, for example, if anyone fills this out right here, 2 things are going to happen, right? Number 1, contractor gets a text message that he just got a new lead. Number 2, the lead gets a text message that they received the quote form. So that's one automatic follow-up, basically, right? People love that. Number two, auto missed call text back. Native to go ahead level. You probably already know how it works, right? Then you have, for example, the 5-star review funnel. So this is one thing from Pavel as well, actually. This works super, super well. Every single contractor loves this. The amount of times that I've had people say like, oh my God, yeah, I really, really like this. You would not believe it, right? So 1 star, private feedback. 5 stars, straight to Google, right? So that's basically one feature people really, really like. And then whenever they've done a job, we basically put them into a automation workflow that asks them for reviews. So that like reminds the past clients to give them reviews, and also reminds them or like gives them a discount offer, basically like, hey, 15% off the next job or whatever, to try and get them through the door again, if that makes sense. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So pretty simple. Nothing too insane here.
No.
Do you do database reactivation campaigns for every client as well?
Yeah, absolutely. If you can do that, I would absolutely do it. A lot of people don't have that type of database, in all honesty, though. But if they do have it, yeah, I would definitely do that. And the way that you do it is you spread it out. So never, ever, ever, like if you're doing SaaS, don't hit like 1,000 people at once. Don't do that. 50 a day, right? Just tuk, 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 so they get consistent results and they can basically see like keep it going, if that makes sense. Otherwise, you're giving all the value at once, and then like what point is there to stick with you, right? So if you spread it out, it's a little bit better. But yeah, we try to do that definitely if they have a list, like it works really well.
Very interesting. So you're saying you actually on purpose don't send the DR campaign all at once. You drip it out so that way they get consistent value on a longer time horizon versus like doing an entire, list of 500 people, 1,000 people reactivation. You will spread that out over a month or
100%,
so.
100%. The exact same thing with reviews, by the way. The exact same thing. Like I will never, ever, ever just hit everyone at once. Like it does not make sense to give them like all the results at once, and then for the rest of the month they're just left with nothing.
More though,
So I'm not co-host yet here, Michael, so I can't mute this person.
I muted him. And go down.
All right. Cool. All right. Nice. Okay. I love that. So many people trying to overcomplicate. I feel like this. Oh, wait, what happened to my video? There it is. So many people try to overcomplicate this entire process and they ask me, well, what automations do I set up? How much time does it take to set up for each person and so forth? And Michael, what I like about your business is that you're really operating this extremely lean, where you don't have a massive team. Like you have a couple virtual assistants and you're able to manage a ton of clients. I mean, being at around 15, 16K a month with like $200 a month clients is pretty insane. You're managing a bunch of clients. In fact, I think you should hire like a customer success person. But it's cool because the entire system is pretty copy and paste. And so really the database reactivation, the Google reviews, and spreading it out, like you said, I think that's a really, really good tip because it gives them consistent value and it's not all up front. Plus, you're avoiding any sort of like email issues or SMS issues. Not that those really come up, but you're fully compliant there since you're not spamming anyone, you're not oversending, you're also not bombarding them with too many messages all at once, and they forget to respond to people. They can't even answer all the phone calls, and it kind of drips in consistently.
100%, 100%. Because what we have as well, if you just hit people super, super hard, like they'll be overwhelmed. And now all your efforts just go into trash because you're like, well, I can't call all these people back. But if you just like space it out a little bit, like, oh, like a lot of guys will say, like, I only need like 1 or 2 calls a week. Like if you can get them that, they'll be super, super happy. Obviously, we're not doing lead gen here, but still, if you put the expectation not doing lead gen and they get leads, they're like, oh my God, what is this? Like, I'll stay with you forever. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, cool. Well, I appreciate you breaking down kind of like your sales process. We'd love to know, you were just about to share something with the SMS pipeline or the process. Yeah, before I took you on this tangent of, what exactly is it that you offer? I think we were looking at the pipelines. I don't know if there's something else you wanted to add on top of that.
No, I think that's it. Maybe one thing to to point out to you guys, the appointment set pipeline right here. So maybe let me maybe not show that. But the appointment set pipeline basically right here, guys. If I move someone, that doesn't mean they just booked an appointment, right? You book them in the calendar and you just move them here to know that how many people you booked off of cold SMS, if that makes sense. So you can keep track of it. Because you want to have data, like you want to know what's working, what's not working, how many appointments you're booking from like how many people. Because that way you can replicate it, right? Like I know I closed like literally two of these people today. Like I closed these two guys today. So I know off of these appointments set, I just closed like 2 people today, right? And then you can kind of break it down and just scale it up as you want.
Nice. And so in the beginning, when you just got started and you were booking an insane amount of meetings, what were you mainly relying on? Like where did you see most of the meetings coming from? Was it cold calling, or was it SMS?
So it was both. More so from cold calling, because I didn't have cold SMS as figured out yet as I do now. Like the stuff I just told you guys is way better than what I used to do. So you can get better results than me if you just do the same thing that I literally just told you right now. But the best results were absolutely from cold SMS. Absolutely. Because I would cold call people and the show rate was like 20%. So 2 out of 10 people showed up, right? And I would not give up. Like I would spam call people as soon as like you book a time on my calendar and you don't show up, you are fucked. I would call you and reschedule you 20 times if that's what it took. I would harass you. I would call you and reschedule you until you told me to absolutely just fuck off. So that's how you got to do it as well, by the way, guys. That's a huge tip because contractors are a different type of animal. They will not, most of them will not show up on the first call, especially if it's coming from cold outreach. You want to just hammer them, boom, 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 boom. Keep going. But to put it in perspective, though, so you don't waste your time, max 30 reschedules, boys. Max 30 reschedules. I got that out of data that I tracked. If they don't show up after the third time, the likelihood of them showing up and closing is pretty low. So keep rescheduling until that third time.
And then you just move on to bigger and better things.
Exactly.
I agree with that.
Your pipeline just gets so big with people that don't end up showing up anyways. It's just not, So.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome, man. So yeah, let's dive into a couple of the questions here. And by the way, guys, Michael here is going to do Q&As for the next 3 weeks as well on this date and on this day of the week and also this time. So if you check our school calendar, you'll see he has like a Q&A call where you guys can jump on, and just like mine, you can raise your hand and ask him any questions and he'll get them answered. But for now, let's tackle some of these that I see inside the comments. So Nick says, I see your sub account names are different, but A2P requires to be the same name. How do you manage to get verified? So A2P verified.
Yeah, that's a good question. So they become more and more strict on this stuff, obviously. So for all you guys that don't know this, if you're trying to get A2P registered, the sub account name and all the info in the sub account has to be the same as what you're actually submitting for the A2P verification. But that being said, you can change it afterwards. So verified, change it to whatever you want. So you can do that. And one quick alternative, I'm not going to go too deep into this for you guys, but I do want to give this to you because this is a really, really good way. There's a thing called Text Grid, which I'm going to be migrating over to as well because I start using it for all my clients right now. Text Grid is about half the price for sending out text messages, and inbound text messages are free. So this will cut your costs by at the very least like 60%, just so you know this, guys. So that's super, super valuable. It's more difficult to get an A2P verified, but once you do, you can literally just attach sub accounts, right, to that one verification. So me right now, what I'm doing is I'll get a new client. I don't have to get them A2P verified. I will take that client, I will attach them, and I know this sounds kind of weird, but I will attach them to my text grid A2P verification. I can do that for like 50 people. So I don't need to get 50 A2P verifications when I want to basically do that. I need one. And then I put 50 people under it. So I'm gonna let you guys figure that one out yourself, though, or like ask it in a future Q&A because that's a little bit of a deep dive. I'm very technical.
I was gonna say that's
for you guys. So
yeah, Michael's superpower is that he has the most in-depth SOPs and like, systems and technical. Mike
Yep.
is very much so like a technical guy where he likes everything laid out nicely, and he has systems that where you
Yeah.
move one thing and other things change, and he has all that stuff built out, and that's like a whole nother training right there when it comes to to that platform. I haven't tested that myself, but all right. Next question is, have you tried number intelligence feature that's inside a GHL? It verifies the number within high level.
Don't use it. I use it for my clients so they can basically not get as many spam calls, so it's good for that. But it's not it's just more expensive and you get less good data. So use Clear Out Phone if you're trying to basically verify your numbers because the stuff in Go High Level costs more and gives you less quality. So
Nice. And when you buy a phone number, is it normally, do you get toll free or do you get a number from that state?
I always get a local number from that state.
And how long does that usually take to get verified from A2P?
Once you have one A2P verified, A2P is a campaign. You can put as many numbers on it as you want. So if I want a new number today, I just buy a new one and it's already A2P verified because it's under one campaign.
And that's for your agency or for this like outreach like campaign?
That's per sub account.
I see, which makes sense, which is why you don't have too many sub accounts.
Yeah, you get A2P verified under a sub account, not under like a phone number. It's under a sub account.
Got it. So that, which explains why you don't have a crazy amount of sub accounts.
Exactly.
That saves you time. Cool. Okay. I see. How many do you send per day per sub account? How many SMS?
Yeah. So just so you guys know, I only have one sub account. Well, I only use one sub account. I'll say it like that. I'm sending 30 text messages an hour right now, and I'll do that between the time zones or the times of 8 a.m. and 7 p.m. Right? So I'll just send 30 a day. If you can handle more volume, I used to send 60 an hour. Right? So I will scale it up as I basically just need more volume for my setter, if that makes sense. But right now,
so you're sending 30 SMSs per hour right now from this sub account?
So let me rephrase that. I'm texting 30 new people per hour.
Yeah. Got it. Right. Because then you're responding and having more communication with existing people.
That's actually a good take. I don't actually respond to anyone. So I do not text anyone back, just so you guys know. I've never sent a text message back and call SMS. I only call people. For the love of God, do not text people. Call people on their phone. It's the only thing that matters. You need to get them on the phone.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a good addition. So as soon as someone responds to anything, hey, tell me more, hey, I'm interested, literally anything other than not interested, leave me alone.
Yeah.
You call them.
Immediately. Yeah. Immediately call them. The likelihood of them picking up is so high. And if you wait 2-3 days, you're gonna be like, who? Who are you? Like they're not gonna remember you. So you want to be quick.
Yeah. How much do you spend on SMS per day?
Oof. So it's actually a good question, in all honesty. Maybe like $5 or $10, something like that, probably. But if you use TextGrid, I promise I'm not an affiliate, right? But if you use TextGrid, the costs go way down, so you can always do that.
Nice, man. We might need a training on TextGrid here soon. Okay. What is the video you send them before the meeting?
I didn't even tell you about that. But the video
I don't know how Nick knows that.
We got an imposter here, dude. No, the video that I sent. So maybe for context for you guys. Nowadays, I will actually send people a video before the meeting, which is literally VSL. So it's like 5 minutes long, explaining what we do, and that helps to basically sell people quite a lot. If you're gonna try, so one caveat here, if you're being like, I've built you a website, but I can't share you, I can't send it to you, so we're gonna have to hop on a Zoom meeting. If you send them a video, you're gonna be like, well, why don't you just send me the website you made me in a video? So don't do that. But if you're selling anything else, do it, because it will make it more likely that they close, or they won't show up if they're not interested, and they'll just tell you. So
yeah, 1000%. And I actually sent like links to like previews of websites before. Back when I was doing this on freaking WordPress, I would like download WordPress templates, like set up home pages. It legitimately took me half a day to do one homepage on WordPress. By the time I import it, and like it was just so long. So this kind of cuts out that whole process. So actually, I have a question for you. How would you do SMS outreach? What would be that first text message if you were doing Google reviews as your main service?
If I was doing Google reviews, well, I've never done that.
As your foot in the door offer.
It's a good question. So I haven't tested that ever, in all honesty. But I would probably give them like a straight offer. I'd be like something like, hey man, saw that you have a couple of Google reviews, but you could probably get a lot more. Like, would you mind if I literally just show you how I can probably get you like an extra 50 to 75 Google reviews in the next 2 weeks for free? Something like that.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, well, for free. Well, we're not gonna do it for free, but you're not gonna pay for Google reviews. You're just gonna. So you kind of do it like that.
Yeah.
That's probably something I would do.
Yeah, I would say something similar. I would say something, and I'm only asking this because last week someone had the Google reviews as like their core foot in the door offer, and so it's top of mind for me. But I would also say something along the lines of, hey, noticed you had, if you can pull in a custom field, that'd be great. If not, I would say, hey, notice your competitors have over 50 reviews, but for some reason yours aren't showing correctly. If you want, I can help fix this for you. Or you can say something like, I've actually already fixed it for you and I can help you get an additional 20 in the next week. Is that something you even want?
Yeah. By the way,
something along those lines.
Yeah, to quickly share my screen. So if anyone was wondering what the old message was, I just found it back. This is the one I used for website foot in the door. So, hey, this is Michael. I was looking you guys up on Google and saw that you don't have a website or anything like that. I know this is kind of random, but I went ahead and built you one. Do you want to see it? And then this is the opt-out message right here. Hello, let me see it. First one I took, I promise. So you can see this one works really, really well if you're doing the website foot in the door, guys. So
Nice. Very cool. So next question is, how do you get your clients new customers into the reviews campaign automatically? So if they close a client, how do they automatically trigger the review campaign?
Okay, so there's two ways to do this. One is the advanced way, but it's by far the best way, and it's going to get them the best results. If your client has a CRM, so a CRM is a client relationship management tool. Sounds real fucking fancy, right? Go high level, it's technically a CRM. All your leads and stuff like that, your contacts are in there, right? Contractors use that as well. It's usually not go high level. And whenever they basically move someone to job completed, if you integrate with their CRM, it can literally just send a notification to you, like you use Zapier, that's like an automation tool, to basically just trigger that campaign, so that workflow, so they get put in there. That's a little bit more advanced, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Or what you can do as well, this is the simple way, so maybe start out with that. Create a form on the, like for your contractor basically. Put it literally just first name, phone number, and whenever they fill in that form, trigger the automations. That's the easier way to do it. But it adds a little bit of work for the contractor. So if you're getting low quality people that are lazy, they're not going to use it, because I have both ways. So if you can't integrate with their CRM, figure it out. Just use Zapier, right? You have the mental blocks now, like you know what to do. You just got to put them together. But if not, you got to use the form, because not everyone has a CRM. A lot of guys don't actually.
Yeah. From my experience, most people teams don't, but the higher end clients always do. They have some sort of tracking system.
Yeah.
What I like doing is I just like creating a tag. That's the easiest thing I found. Is if they have a front desk person or they just have someone else managing their leads, just attach and create an automation that fires when they attach a tag. So put like customer sold or like request review. They attach that tag and it just fires them into that workflow. And the workflow does whatever you want it to do. Text them, emails them, send them a link, sends them a link, it follows up with them if they don't respond, and so forth. And that's been like the easiest way that I've seen to do it. And then also contractors
could do that. And then if they really genuinely don't have time, then I would just tell them, look, man, once a week, just sit down. This is your business. Go on your phone and just attach that tag to everyone that you sold in the past or everyone that you completed the job in the past week, right? And if you're doing higher end stuff, it's like 2 people, right? It's like what? How many new projects could it be? 1, 2? Of course, if they're like handymen and if they, if they're doing like, 3 different service requests per day, if they're like an electrician, they have to like install a light bulb or do whatever, then it's going to be more. But that's the way that I would think about that.
Exactly. That's one way to do it as well. The only reason I don't do it like that is because I do not want to teach anyone Go High Level. I don't want to teach anyone how to use Go High Level. I don't want to teach you how to attach a tag. Nothing. The only thing I want people to do in Go High Level is message people. It's the only thing I want them to do. Because otherwise it just becomes kind of like, I guess you can make it work, but it becomes a little too complex in my opinion. Because I don't want that requires support. I do not want to give support like that, if that makes sense. So like leave me alone. Don't call me. Just pay me every month.
Tag. Yeah, hit the conversations tab and respond to your leads, which really is like the most important part. And then we set up backend systems to help them start those conversations. And then it's their job to, get inbound leads and then call them and, actually like book their own estimates, at least in this model. So a couple of people asked if there's going to be notes on this or if there will be a recording. Yes, guys. So there's always a recording of all the guest calls, all the Q&As and that kind of stuff. It's going to be inside the community. We'll also have notes pasted below it from these note takers in here. It's funny, we have I'm looking at 5 note takers in here right now, so I'm sure we'll have a bunch of notes. All right, cool. Let's keep going through these videos. How do you get them on Zoom? I'm having an issue right now with the websites. They want to see it, but then no response once I say Zoom.
So that's kind of what I said before. I'm like, hey, went ahead and build you a website. Yeah, I can't send it to you, sadly. Reason being is that like it's not online. Like I have to pay money for that, right? And they understand that. They'd be like, well, what I can do is we can literally just go ahead and hop on a Zoom meeting real quick. Like it'll be like 5-10 minutes. Like it doesn't matter. You don't have to say half an hour call, right? You're doing a fucking sales call. It doesn't matter. 5-10 minutes. They'll stay if they're interested. Okay. And then I can literally just share my screen and show you the website. Is that fair enough? Yes. Cool. And this critical thing, is that fair enough? That's the thing. Imagine saying no to that. No, it's not fair. It's not fair. Like, fuck. You can't say no to that. So it's like one of those things where the verbiage really matters and the tonality when you say that. And that's the way I always got them on it. And basically everyone did it. And if you get pushback on it, like if they really don't want to do it, don't bother. Like you're not going to close that guy. They don't fucking care. So.
Yeah, 100%. And also judging by how that question is phrased, I can't help but think that you are saying, hey, let's jump on Zoom. I feel like you're saying this over text, and that's the big problem here. You have to call them, Lee. So I don't know exactly when you joined, but what Michael does is he doesn't text or respond to anyone with a text. Everything is over the phone. So as soon as they respond to anything other than not interested or I don't care or leave me alone, you call them and you're saying on Zoom over the phone. So once you're already speaking to them, you're able to say, this word Zoom without getting hung up on, because you're seeing no response once they say Zoom. Once they're on the phone with you, they'll have a response. They're not just going to hang up on you. So the biggest thing, Lee, is to just jump on the phone with freaking everyone that shows a little bit of interest.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. You mentioned calling people who replied via SMS. Let's say I'm selling an AI employee as part of my service. I'm thinking about setting up an automation where our own trained AI employee calls them as soon as they reply and acts as a live demo of what we offer, and then have them booked if they like it. What is your take on this?
Could work. I have not tested it, so I don't know. Personally, I don't like AI doing you'll have people trying to sell you AI callers and stuff like that, like AI lead. I don't like it. I think you should have an actual salesperson, which is you, to do it. Because imagine this, right? You're getting, let's say this is the magical AI bot and it's just fucking crushing it. Just boom, 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 20 meetings a day, right? Imagine then you have no skills, or you're not building any skills actually talking to these people on the phone. They don't know you yet because they haven't spoken to you before. And then you come on the sales call and you can't close them anyways because you don't know how to talk to people, right? Like cold calling people, doing cold SMS, calling people up. It's not just like it's a way to create very, very cheap repetitions of you to become a salesperson and learn how to sell and talk to people. So I would not do that just because you're going to miss out on all the skills that you can actually get and bringing people on a meeting. And I just don't know how long it's going to take to actually make it really good because people know it's AI, and if they're being cheated, they'll just hang up. So
Yeah, 100%. How would you promote the AI employee over cold SMS? What kind of first message would you say? You hear?
Fuck this. What kind of message would I say? So I would probably try to bring it back to making more money. Obviously, it's like, hey man, can I show you how you can literally just make like 30 to 50, like how you can get an extra 3 to 5 jobs literally just using AI in your business, in your contracting business, something like that. So I always try to bring it back to jobs because you got to think of it like this. What do they care about? Making more money. How do they make money? Well, they get more jobs, right? So get more jobs, buy your offer, basically, is what I usually try to do.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I would not go into the weeds or into these specifics on any of these offers,
Yeah.
and just keep it vague. And that's kind of what we do even like with the projects. Like even with your current message, man, it could be using an AI employee. Like they don't know. You're just saying, hey, could you handle an extra 3 to 4 new jobs, new estimates over the next month? Like, is it, just add at the end using AI, right? Or
Yeah,
using
exactly.
this new AI system and so forth. So awesome. Okay, someone asked about snapshots. Do you want to share the snapshot, Michael?
For the boys, I got you. Hold on, let me see where it is.
All right. Well, don't do. Let's do this, man. I'll put it below the video because I know if you share it right now, you might have sensitive data in it or like whatever. So just take a glance at it first, send it to me, and then I'll put it below this video so you don't share anything you don't want to share.
There should not be any sensitive data in that. I don't even know how you could put.
Well, like what I mean is in like the text messages, like you might want to change your outreach message so it's not copy and paste yours, right? Like slightly change it. You also might have other workflows where you have different messages that you've tested or that you no longer use and so forth. So just look at the workflows first, and then delete any you don't want to share or your old ones or new ones or whatever.
You know what? It's a fair point. It's a fair point.
And then also what ends up happening is, and this is for the benefit of all of you guys watching. Sometimes when people like Michael have these snapshots and they have these systems that they've built, a lot of times what you're seeing right now is not what they started with. And so this has gone through many different iterations, and that's true in my business. It's true in everyone, right? You're always growing, you're always testing, you're always trying new things. And so what we don't do, and I'm guilty of this, is we don't delete the old stuff that doesn't work. We just make new stuff and then we just constantly update it. So like if you just took one of my raw snapshots, you're going to get like 10 different workflows and you won't even know which one to use because each one is just stuff that I've tested. So if Michael sends it to us, we can take a look at it. I can take the final one and we can delete all the stuff that's unnecessary and then give you the efficient snapshot that you can, like the cleaner version that doesn't have all the other stuff that he no longer uses. And so it could solve a lot of that confusion that also may come up. So that's another thing on why it also benefits you if we get that first. So as soon as we have that, we'll post it below this video, and then you guys can check that out inside the community. What is the average time a customer stays with you for? Tips to keep clients engaged and paying monthly.
So that's a great question. So the most important thing you could possibly do is get the right type of client. So the people that leave are the ones that think I'm going to generate them 1 million leads whilst I'm not even doing leads in for them. And they have that's the expectation. So if you get the right type of client, for example, someone that already has reviews that values these things that you provide, they will stay much, much longer. I still have most of my first clients, and that's from like 13 months ago, right? But the average time someone stays, even if it's a shit client, if they're going to leave, they're going to leave after 3 months, usually. If they stay, they can stay a very long time. Like I still have most of my old clients. So
yeah, absolutely. How often do you talk to your clients that let's say you've had it for 6 months plus?
Never. Never, bro. Unless I did like an update. So one thing I do improve on my service and I iterate over them. So sometimes I'll literally just create someone a new website because I've made something way, way better. I'll just go back to all my old clients and give them the better stuff. I'll call them up. I'll be like, yo, guess what? I've just given you something way better, completely for free, right? And then I'll have an ask. I'll like, can you give me referrals? Can you give me a review? And I've also got this other cool thing that costs XYZ or whatever, right? So that's the only time I'll talk to them. But otherwise, like if they have an issue, they'll talk to me. But there's like no communication. That's the good thing with this. People don't fucking bother me. They leave me alone. I just want to sit at home, right, watch a movie or go travel and be left alone and make money. So that's the ideal fucking business for this. So
Yeah, it's funny. I was talking to Michael and Kai. They have kind of similar business models when they came to visit. Like I have in my agency, we do like check-in calls like once a week, and we're kind of like ramping up our team as well. And so like we're doing check-in calls at least once a month. We call every single client, and like now again we have a bigger team, and so it's a slightly different business model than like this low ticket SaaS thing. And Mike nor Kai speak to their clients ever. Like it basically a fire needs to happen, and the client needs to be like freaking out to call them like 10 times, and then they'll pick up the phone maybe. And it's kind of funny because their clients just stick and like they just keep paying them every single month. And it's a pretty unique business model. But hey, as long as they have, and that's kind of the beauty of having the SaaS model though, is because once they're just using it and they just use it to respond to their leads, like they don't need your support. Like you're not giving them any automations. Like they can't really break anything. They don't, like all they do is just go in there to respond to their leads,
exactly,
which makes it way easier for you.
exactly. That's the only thing. And once they get into using it, like you're golden. Like if someone's not like if someone starts using the form, they're getting reviews, like you're getting some results, they will stick with you forever. And that's the main thing we're trying to achieve here, right? And then I don't ever have to talk. Even my oldest clients, which I started them out $297 a month, just the website, no results, nothing. I still got them. I don't have to talk to them. They just fucking pay me. Like it's great. So yeah, don't get me wrong.
That's funny.
You gotta get people results, right? Get like make sure you're happy, but yeah, still like that's when I didn't really know what I was doing, and I thought my business was gonna crumble. By the way, guys, when I started this out, I thought like everyone was gonna leave after a month. So it turns out, guys, it's not the case. So that's great.
Yeah. And it's funny because I think, how long were you inside the community before like you started seeing all this success? Because you're in here for a bit from what I remember, right? And then everything kind of snowballed.
Probably like not long at all, honestly. Like I would say maybe a month, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe
So
probably
you were
not.
just learning. So you were just learning the system for a month, and then you just hit the ground running with the cold calls and all
Yeah.
this.
Well, actually, I already knew how to use Go High Level. I already knew how everything worked because I already learned it. I literally just took all your stuff. So how to cold call, cold SMS. Oh, that's fucking magical, bro. This works really well. So I just took that and I immediately started dialing. I didn't even have a website built. I didn't even know what the fuck I was gonna do. I just started calling people, doing outreach and actually closing deals. And then I closed a lot of people in a very short amount of time, and now I have to deliver on. And then I took a slight break because like, okay, well, I need to build some infrastructure to actually support the volume that I'm basically doing. So yeah.
Nice. Well, you've certainly gone a far way from working on the chicken farm
Yeah.
and growing into this. It's funny because Michael, you didn't mention this as part of your story, man.
Yeah.
Which I think you should more. Michael used to work on a chicken farm, so he was like, doing like manual labor and just like working with chickens all day
I used
before he
to,
started his business, like back in his hometown, making like minimum wage, making no money.
yeah. I used to be working like 12 to 14 hours a day, every day of the week. Just grinding, trying to get rich. Wasn't fucking working, boys. So then I switched to this, and look at me now.
He stopped taking care of chickens,
Yeah, exactly.
and his life seems to have worked out. Awesome. Well, last question here. Do you offer any guarantees, risk reversal with your SaaS?
No,
Do you do free trials? Like, do you like how does that work? Do you ever give refunds?
no. I never. So maybe a short take on this. If people really, really, really want a refund, give it to them. Because what they're gonna do is they're just gonna dispute your shit, right? And then you're gonna have to give it anyways, because that's kind of the nature of the beast. But no, I do not ever give a risk reversal a guarantee. Like you gotta understand, you're giving a $300 a month product. What the fuck kind of guarantee do you want me to give you? It's $300, bro. Like I'm not moving the fucking plan. I'm not Jesus creating no miracles out here for $300 a month, bro. Like this is what you get. You want it, take it. If not, fucking skedaddle on out of here. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty fucking straightforward. And if you give it to people like that, I swear to God, if you're like, oh, we'll give you a guarantee. No, 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 no. Just tell them straight up how it is, and people will respect you way more for that and actually be more likely to close. I had the exact same thing because people will ask you this sometimes. What's the guarantee? Like, I'll guarantee you get a website. Like what guarantee, bro? It's $300 a month. Like, what the fuck do you want? I'm like, on, dude. So yeah, don't give people a guarantee because it's just not. It's not worth it.
I think one of the best objection handlers for do you offer guarantees when you really don't is, and this is what I used to say, and I've closed many clients with this line. So let's say they ask, okay, this sounds great and all. Do you have any guarantees in place? Again, more so people ask this when you're doing lead gen, when it's like thousands of dollars a month. I don't really see this really with $300 a month, but
Yeah.
I always respond and I say, yes, the guarantee is that if you don't change anything in your business right now, and if you keep doing the same thing you've always been doing, you're going to stay exactly where you are. That's the guarantee.
That's fucking solid. I like that. I like that.
Yeah. And that's good. And then they kind of get it. It's basically saying that we don't have a guarantee, but the guarantee is if you do nothing, you're going to stay exactly where you are. So you still give them some. It's a better answer than just saying no. There's no guarantees. It's a more charismatic way of saying no.
Yeah, that's maybe you guys maybe do that. maybe hit him with that one instead. And by the way, I do offer free trials, but a free trial is literally just give me your card information so that I can auto bill you after the free trial date. But what I think is even better is asking for a deposit. So the way that I usually phrase this is I'll be like, you're gonna need 2 weeks, you're gonna need 2 weeks, right? Like they'll do something like that. Like, I want to do it in 2 weeks. Like, okay, no worries at all, man. Like, okay, so let me just think. But you do want to do this, right? You're 100% sure you want to do this, but just in 2 weeks. Yeah. Okay, so now you got to tie it down. It's like, okay, cool. So I'll just like take a look and face. Like, yeah. So the only issue that I really see is that we do only work with like a certain amount of people per month, just because like if we take on more people, we can't really deliver the quality and the standard that we actually set for ourselves. So I can't guarantee that I'm actually going to have space for you in 2 weeks. But what we can do instead, what I can go ahead and do for you, so you're doing them a favor, is literally just sign you up a $30 deposit, right? So you're just putting out $30 so that way in 2 weeks, I know 100% that I'll actually have time for you. And in the meanwhile, we can already get you onboarded so that in 2 weeks, you can just hit the ground running. Is that fair enough? Yes. Okay, give me your money. There you go. So that's one good way as well, because free trials, they don't, maybe like one out of six will convert. Maybe a lot of people don't, so it's like
Yeah, awesome. Well, I see one comment that's kind of funny. Someone said, oh man, I love that I want to be left alone too when I launch this. So I think what he means is he doesn't want to talk to anyone. So look, guys, I want to be very clear. Michael doesn't talk to people now, but he's put in the work, put in the 10, 12-hour days of cold calling and talking to people and all of that. Just now he can kind of step back. So, don't think you're just not going to talk to anyone and just print money and travel here like Michael. But anyways, all right, dude. I know we've gone over by a little bit, so I appreciate your time. I want to be very respectful of your time as well, and appreciate all the content and everything that you put together. Appreciate you sharing all this. Again, guys, like, when people jump on and they kind of reveal the whole thing, it's more risky for them. Like Michael's giving you away, is giving you his whole system, and he's giving you everything that he's using still to this day. You saw live text messages that were sent today. So this is his system. Don't copy and paste it. Don't, reach out to his website clients, or don't just be respectful of his assets and his business and the things that he's doing. He's been very polite to share all this. So that's all I ask. All right, Michael. Well, appreciate you jumping on, man. I'm excited for everyone else to chat with you in about a week when you actually do your live Q&As. So hope everyone had a great time. Guys, if you got value from this, put a 1 in the chat. Put the number 1 and hit send. And let's see these fly in. Boom.
Can we get a 1 in the chat, boys? Can we get a 1 in the chat, please? Come on, I want to see more 1s in the chat.
There we go. We got a bunch of 1s, man. All right. Awesome. Well, everyone loved you. So with all that being said, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Super excited for all of you to go in and actually test this out. Michael, I'll be in touch with you soon. Let me know once you have that snapshot. I'll have this live recording also done, guys, within the next 30 minutes to hour, and then I'll have it posted inside the community so you can go watch it. Cool. With all that being said, have a good rest of your day.
See you boys next week. Take
See
care.
ya.